We have, oh, this is just, he's just adorable, isn't he? Ian just stepped into the studio, and Jason and Anna, mom and dad in here as well. As a matter of fact, mom is doing the motherly thing right now.
And little sister.
Dad, if you would step up to the microphone.
Yes.
And let's talk about Ian and first and foremost the discovery, because to me as a dad myself, and this is something that I'm always so aware of now that we've been doing St. Jude Radiothons for so many years, watching out for signs. Can you tell us about what maybe you first noticed, that discovered?
Yeah. It's obviously one of those things you're never prepared for. You know, so you're not like, oh, I'm going to watch my kid every day to see if something's going on, and be watching for that kind of thing. But over the course of about a month, we just kind of noticed that he wasn't acting himself.
Just and more tired, or?
Tired. He never wanted to sit in our lap. He just always wanted to be going and doing things. And for about a month, he got to the point where he just wanted to be in our laps, and we wanted to rock and snuggle, which of course we loved. But we just noticed that really wasn't him. And so we began to go to the doctor to fight ear infections and other things that they were trying to say may have been the cause of what was going on. And it wasn't until we went away for a weekend, a trip, Anna and I together, that when we came back we noticed that one of his eyes was kind of crossing. Looked like he had kind of like a lazy eye. And so we're like, well, he never had that before. So we need to go to the doctor again. And we were lucky enough to have a great pediatrician here in the Franklin area that was able to say, hey, you need to go to Vanderbilt right now, and you need to start, getting this looked at. And that was when they diagnosed, that he had a tumor.
And Mom, what was that like when you first got the news from the doctor?
I was the one that answered the phone, and I can honestly say that he said the words tumor to me, and it really didn't sink in. Like, it was just still that unbelief of, the reality of what was going on. And I hung up the phone, and I knew I had to turn around and tell him what I just heard. And thankfully, we had another friend there with us, and I said it, and then I just dissolved. I mean, I just
crumbled.
Yeah.
Really.
And those next few minutes, they rush you down the hall. They put you in a conference room for all these doctors to come talk to you, and I mean, I just sat there on the couch and just was like, this is not real. Yeah. It's not real.
How fast does it go from why to what can we do?
Pretty quickly, because we, even though we weren't, it wasn't confirmed it was cancer yet, I was like, I went into mommy mode of we got to take care of this, yes. And we needed to be at the right place, and so that happened pretty quickly for me.
So, Dad, how did we find out about, I'm always interested to see how people found out about St. Jude, because it is obviously the place of miracles.
Absolutely. Well, we had about a month period of time between finding out that he had cancer, or that he had a tumor, and to knowing what it was. And during that time, I mean, we were praying really hard about it. We were just, we didn't really know what to do, because we knew that if we went to St. Jude, which is a place that we had heard about, we were going to have to pack up and leave everything, leave our support system, and just move, for at least 6 months to a year. We didn't know how long that was going to be. But it was just through that month process of just, as we prayed about it, people just were coming up to us from everywhere. I mean, people we knew, people we had never met before, people who had heard about our story and were telling people they knew to come tell us that St. Jude was the place for us to go. And we made a phone call to one of the doctors over at St. Jude in one of the the brain department, and it was kind of an off hours kind of thing when we got a call back from a lady over there. She was at home, she was cooking dinner for her kids, and she's like, I want to call you when I'm cooking dinner at home. This is the time that I was so busy, but I wanted to make sure that I talked to you today. And that just said so much to us, that she called us on her time and talked to us when she was trying to do so many other things.
So now, what was Ian diagnosed with?
He's diagnosed with a PNET. It's a PNET tumor. It's a primitive neuroectodermal tumor. It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful,
but it's a very aggressive kind of brain cancer. And for him, it formed just behind his right eye, on the front part of his brain, and it got very, very large, very, very fast. He's been through I can't even remember how many surgeries now. I know we added it up at one point in time, but I know he's had 2 or 3 craniotomies, and I mean, just probably somewhere in the double digits of surgeries through this. But
and how much has St. Jude charged you?
Nothing.
Wow.
And we've know what some of the bills are and some of the things that some of the experimental things that they've done for us, where they sent us to Jacksonville for some radiation therapy that at the time is kind of a new thing. We were one of the first patients that they've done this for, and our insurance said we're not going to cover it because it's experimental, but St. Jude didn't blink an eye, and they said, this is what we want you to go do. This is the best thing for him, and it's going to help other kids in the long run as we get a lot of this research back. So they sent us, and we're
So where do things stand right now?
He's doing great. We are a little over 6 months post-treatment, and so we go back every 3 months for scans, and he looks forward to going back every single time. Even though he knows he's going to get, he loves it. Even though he knows he's going to get IVs put in and some things that he's not going to enjoy so much, he loves going to see those nurses and those doctors, and he loves the playrooms, and just it's home to him.
What a trooper! I mean, just looking at him, I wish that all of our listeners could be in this room.
Well, here's the good thing: we actually are videotaping as we're talking to Ian and Ian's parents, so we're going to put that on our webpage. Just put the microphone down there just for a split second. Ian, I hear you're a big fan of macaroni and cheese. There you go. Oh, what a sweetheart.
Can you say, I love St. Jude?
I love St. Jude.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
So I want to with that.
Yeah. Just absolutely adorable. Well, we know that we obviously have had the opportunity, the fortunate opportunity of sitting in here year after year and talking to so many families who have experienced what St. Jude does for those families, for those children. Let's relay that, Mom, to the people listening right now who are maybe on the verge, maybe on the edge of picking up the phone and dialing but haven't. Explain to them just how important that donation is.
Well, like Jason said, there's things that have to be experimental sometimes, and those things are so expensive when that happens. But when it comes to the life or death situation with a child, I mean, your choice is always going to be, I'll try anything. And when those things get that expensive, I mean, those donations mean so much, because there is no way. I mean, we had to quit we worked for ourselves, but we couldn't work full time while he was in the hospital. And to think about the burden of the cost of those things, to come home with a child that's recovering from all this stuff and then to have to pay off medical bills, I mean, we feel so blessed that we don't have to deal with that burden right now. And there's just so many families there that don't even have insurance at all, and they cover everything. But it's the best doctors, the best nurses, the best research, and all those things cost dollars.
Yeah, and you can call 800-345-HOPE, 800-345-4673 to become a partner in HOPE. And oh my goodness, to help these amazing children, it's just, what a blessing that is.
And I think if anybody is ever in the Memphis area and, it's right on the interstate, you should just stop in, because do a tour, because you will see these kids and you will really not believe that they're going through what they're going through. Everybody is just, their spirits are good there, and it's like a lot. Ian didn't know he was sick when he was there. I mean, it will break your heart, but then again, it will, just give you hope that some of these kids are just going to fight through whatever they're going through.
Give the phone number one more time.
That's 800-345-HOPE, 800-345-4673.
Ian, can you say thank you for your donation? Absolutely.